Bonjour, my name is David DeVere. I'm a wine educator and traveler, and you're watching Savvy Nomad TV, the Eau de Vie edition. This is day 3 of the Costco Wine Advent Calendar. Let's see what wine we've got today. It is lightly snowing today, makes for a somewhat festive feel. All right, here's the calendar. Here's number 3. Try and tear this off cleanly. Well done. All right. It's red. It's Birds on a Wire red wine blend from Portugal. There we are. Okay, let's crack it open. Yesterday's wine was the Italian Chardonnay, and I talked about how the packaging, the screw cap in particular, kind of give us an indication of the style that the winemaker is going to use to produce the wine. This wine has other clues of style on it, and it is in the words red wine blend. Now, you might think, why does it matter? It's a red wine and it's a blend. Yes, but this is a specific term, and it means that there is no dominant grape variety in the bottle. That minimum for the US is 75%. Now, in various states, like in California, if you have less than 75% of one dominant grape, you can't put the grape variety on the bottle. Okay, and if it's wine from California, then it has to say that on the bottle somewhere also. If it doesn't, if it just says Cabernet Sauvignon on the bottle, it can be from anywhere. It could be from Oregon, Washington, California. Well, this says red wine blend Portugal. So what's that tell us? It tells us that, number one, it's a blend of red grapes, that none is dominant, so there's nothing in there that is more than 75%, and it's wine from all over Portugal. What do we know about Portuguese red grape varieties? The Portuguese are probably more famous for their fortified wine, which is port, named after the city of Oporto in northern Portugal on the Douro River Valley. And the English, a thirsty group of people, were always looking for something they could export and carry to their colonies. Port, because it's fortified with extra alcohol, makes it very stable. The 20% that the alcohol percentages of port makes it that it can travel on a ship for a long time, and it's going to sit in the bottle and it's going to be okay. It can take a lot more abuse. Alcohol makes you stronger and less I should just leave it there. Red wine from Portugal, from the Douro River Valley, is often turned into port, but they have been starting to export more Douro River Valley wines from Portugal as single varietals, or they just say Douro on them. These grapes are usually Spanish versions grown in Portugal, and the Spanish versions are usually called by their Portuguese names. For example, Tempranillo, which is Spanish in Rioja, a grape in Rioja, is called Aragonés in Portugal. So these are probably the same grape varieties that make up a lot of port in the Douro, but it's done dry and it's done as a red wine. Okay, let's taste it. Before I open this, I want to, hey, Sarah found the screw for my glasses, so glasses are fixed till I break them again. I want to look at the back here, and in this super, super tiny, tiny text, it says full-bodied, distinctive, spicy red blend, and then it's a bunch of blah, blah, blah. Spicy. Spicy is a word you often see referred to or written about or mentioned in wine reviews or in the marketing of wines. what does spicy mean when they refer to a wine? What they often are referring to is alcohol. It's the amount of alcohol sharpness in the mouth. That's what is referred to as spiciness. Now, this label on the back says 12.5%. I wouldn't consider that particularly high alcohol. However, the label doesn't have to be precise. It can be 1.5 percentage points off either direction. So 13, it could be 14%. The wine could. Now that would maybe probably be spicy. We'll see. I don't know, but that's what spicy means. Okay, I filled out the top of my tasting card here, and I got my pen. Let's pour up the wine, and let's see if it's spicy. They say it's going to be spicy. Let's take a look. Now, looking at the wine, it's pretty dark. That's good. A red blend. You know, red blend, man, that allows the manufacturer, the winemaker, to really be quite artistic, to really express something unique, or even to just make a low quality grape, kind of bulk it up with all the others that are going to add color and structure to it. So you could use some of the grape varieties that are not often used as a single variety, like a Petite Syrah. Very few examples of Petite Syrah are actually single varietal. You can find them from generally California, but often Petite Syrah is so dark, so rich, so unctuous that they add it to weaker Cabernet Sauvignons or weaker Syrahs or a weak Tempranillo or a weak Grenache. Okay, anyway, red. So I'm going to say it's ruby in color and it's deep. All right, looks nice. Let's see what we get for the aroma. It's not particularly aromatic. White wines are more aromatic than reds. When you're scoring that, think about the style and the type of wine. You can't really score all wines equally. You need to score them on a gradient. And red wines should get a higher score than whites if they are aromatic at all, where whites really should be bright in their aroma to earn that top score from you. This smells clean. I don't really notice much, maybe a very subtle hint of raspberries. So I'll write raspberry on here. And I'm going to give it a 5 for aroma. Okay, let's give it a taste. Dry or sweet? It's dry. What's the body? Medium. The acidity is crisp and fresh. The line between those two, if you're using this card, you'll see there's little lines in between. The acidity is high. It's bright. Sits at the front of the mouth. You notice the acidity on the tongue, on either side of the tongue, and if you start to salivate, that's acidity. So it's pretty good. It's nice. I'll give it a 7. Balance. The tannins here were smooth. The alcohol did not burn. I don't really think the word spicy is a great descriptor. It's not particularly spicy. It's high acid, but that doesn't necessarily mean spicy. But the balance is well done. I'll give it a 7. Complexity. Now, come on. Show me something here, Portugal. When judging complexity, well, there's those tannins. They're even more grippy. When judging complexity, you're taking it into your mouth, and then I like to exhale out my nose. That's forcing more warm air up through the wine and up into that little patch in my brain. That is the sense of smell. And complexity should add new aromas and flavors, and aroma and flavor are the same thing. 80% of tasting is smelling. So, do I get any more aromas? No, unfortunately I don't. Just a few flavors, disappointing. Yep, that's what it is on complexity. Finish and length. Now the tannins, they did a nice job here. The tannins are that drying sensation in the mouth. It's smooth. They're not overly large. It's not too grippy. And they kind of come through in the finish. So, is it a nice finish? Did it add to the sensation? Yes, it did. Okay, I'll give it a 7. All right, I'm going to go do my math. All right, here are my final scores for our Portuguese Red Blend. Aroma, 5. Acidity, 7. Balance, 7. Complexity, 3. Finish and length, 7. That gives them 29 points for a total score of 79. 79 might seem kind of harsh, but, well, I mean, it's average. The winemaker didn't really show up on that complexity scale. The wine isn't overly interesting. Now, I think they did the tannins nice. When I taste this with the cheese, this and cheese could actually go together really well, and we'll see. Okay, that's it for today. I'm done. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 4 as we continue our wine adventure. And until then, I say, à tout à l'heure and cheers.
Hello. Birds on a wire, okay. A little bit cherry-y, maybe. But I'm not getting a whole lot from scent. Some tannins. Kind of a higher acid red. Not a big plush mouthfeel, but probably good with food. So it'd probably go good with lunch. Good for the Costco Wine Box. Cheers!